Aviation is largely about calculated risks, and as pilots we do our best to minimize them. For this flight, my risks included flying my wife and I in a single-engine, home-built experimental airplane over the ocean to another country. But the destination was a pilot's paradise. So let me tell you how we flew my tiny airplane down to the Bahamas.
Now this is my 2017 Vans RV12. So this airplane comes in a kit and you build it yourself. I didn't build this airplane, but I do know the airplane inside and out, and it's built very well, and I keep up to date with all the maintenance items. I felt confident that this airplane is not going to quit on me over the ocean.
It has a 100 horsepower Rotax carbureted engine, side-by-side seating, and a very small luggage compartment in the back. It has a single Dynon HDX flight display and a single radio. And this explains some of the things that I bought to prepare for the trip.
Now, unfortunately, with my airplane, there's not a lot of redundancy. There's only one engine and really only one screen that shows all your avionics. I also have one radio, so I wanted a backup, so I got this portable handheld radio.
This is the Yaesu 550A, which is a great affordable radio that can even tune into a VOR for navigation.
And where we were going, Bimini had a VOR, so perfect handheld radio, which you absolutely should have if you're flying over the ocean.
To fly over the water legally, you have to have US Coast Guard approved life jackets for everyone on board. And since a water landing would almost certainly mean a flip over in my plane, I wanted to wear them during the flight. So I went with low profile inflatable life jackets. These were around $120 each, which is about the cheapest you can get for an approved life jacket.
They're pretty slim. You can wear them while you're flying the airplane. The seatbelt doesn't really get in the way. So they have a little pull tab right here. You yank on that. There's a CO2 cartridge tucked away in here, and it inflates your life jacket. It'll also inflate automatically if you jump in the water. So great thing to have. High visibility, slim, light, perfect for aviation over the water.
Lastly, I wanted to bring a waterproof personal locator beacon. This isn't required and the plane has an emergency locator beacon, but if we landed in the water, the plane would likely sink very quickly. This is the ACR Rescue Link 400, which is waterproof and it floats.
The way it works is pretty cool. Unfurl the antenna, lift it up, and then it floats. You press a little button, boom. They can locate you via GPS or ELT signal. Great thing to have.
A couple other details that were nice to have. I brought a good sun cover for the airplane, gust locks, extra oil, and tie downs, which ended up being useless since you cannot screw them into the Bahamian rock ground. I also brought enough tools to take off the cowling and get behind the instrument panel. There is a saying for pilots flying to the Bahamas: if you didn't bring it, you don't have it. Okay, now to the process for flying your own airplane to the Bahamas from the US. First, you need a US Customs and Border Protection sticker. This is just a tax of $30, which you have to pay to cross the border. No one ever checked it, but you need the number for filing an e-APIS. The e-APIS is a document that you file online to let the government know when and where you cross the US Air Defense Identification Zone, or the ADIZ. You can file it through a web browser or use an app called FlashPass. For this trip, I tried FlashPass and it was perfect. I filled out some basic info about the airplane and everyone on board. Then the app developer called me himself to see if I needed anything else, and he answered all my questions. You have to file an outbound and inbound e-APIS, but you can do it weeks ahead. Lastly, you have to be on a defense VFR flight plan to cross the ADIZ. You will also need a transponder in the airplane and a discrete squawk code given to you. This was super easy to file and activate using 1-800-WXBrief.com, and once you file, the website gives you a squawk code, so technically you don't even have to speak to air traffic control at all when flying to the Bahamas. However, it is highly recommended to get flight following in case of an emergency. And in my experience, ATC was extra helpful when they knew I was going to the Bahamas. Oh, I almost forgot. You're required to have 12-inch end numbers displayed on your airplane, and since the end numbers on my plane were around 8 inches, we had to buy some vinyl wrap to make them a little bit bigger. So the end numbers might look a little goofy, but they definitely got the job done. Here's my wife Caroline helping me out with this, and she did a wonderful job. Thanks, honey.
Bahamas. Okay. Good flight.
Thank you.
Be safe.
Be well.
Clear prop.
Arthur done traffic experimental 2222 Victor, taking runway 15 departure to the south. Arthur done.
Carolyn and I arrived to the airport at about 7 a.m. and departed Titusville to head south to Boca Raton to get gas before the crossing. We could have flown direct, however Bimini doesn't sell gas, so I wanted to arrive with as full of a tank as possible. On our way to Boca Raton, we were granted flight following and the first leg was incredibly smooth.
Orlando approach experimental 2222 Victor with a request. Orlando approach experimental 2222 Victor, type aircraft experimental light sport. We are directly over Space Coast Regional looking for flight following to Boca Raton, Bravo Charlie Tango.
Number 2222 Victor, stop 1002, 1002.
1002, 22 Victor. Boca Raton Tower, experimental 2222 Victor, 10 miles to the north and bound for a full stop with November. 2222 Victor, Boca Tower, enter left downwind, runway 5, report midfield left downwind, enter the class Delta at or below 1000. I will report midfield left downwind for 05, pattern altitude 1000. 22 Victor, runway 5, clear to land. Runway 5, clear to land, 2222 Victor.
After gassing up in Boca Raton, we put on our life jackets and I activated my flight plan.
R22 Victor, make a left turn out eastbound, runway 23, clear for takeoff. Left turn out eastbound, 23, clear for takeoff, 2222 Victor. R22 Victor, contact Miami approach on 126.05 for flight following. 126.05 for flight following, 22 Victor, thanks, have a good one. Miami approach, experimental 2222 Victor with a request.
Aztec 500, contact Miami 119.45.
Yeah.
Who's the VFR with the request?
Yes sir, this is experimental 2222 Victor, about 5 miles east of Boca Raton, looking for flight following to Bimini.
November 22 Victor, squawk 4637.
4637, 22 Victor.
We departed and headed directly east until leaving the Class Charlie airspace of Fort Lauderdale. We were granted flight following almost immediately and ended up switching frequencies about 4 times on our way to Bimini. This wasn't too bad, but things happened quick. I also made sure to write each frequency given to me down for the flight back.
So we are officially out of the U.S. Right there.
Okay.
See how quick that was?
Yeah. That's
So,
November 2222 Victor, contact Miami Center 133.4.
133.4, 2222 Victor. Miami Center, November 2222 Victor with you at 4,500.
222 Victor, Miami Center. Contact Miami Center 133.85.
133.85, 22 Victor. Miami Center, November 2222 Victor with you at 4,500.
222 Victor, Miami Center, Lauderdale altimeter 3006.
3006, 22 Victor.
One thing that was a little unsettling was the haze over the ocean. I could see the horizon the entire time, however, it's something to watch out for. I would say that my IFR training did help out a little bit here. And after a short 30 minutes, Bimini came into view and it was absolutely beautiful.
Miami Center, experimental 2222 Victor. We have Bimini inside and I think we can cancel flight following at this time.
November 22 Victor, Roger. Radar services terminated. Squawk VFR. Frequency change approved yet?
Frequency change approved. Thanks a lot for the help. Talk to you later. 22 Victor.
Oh my gosh, it's so blue.
Whoa, look at the color.
I know. It's like it's dyed or something.
Bimini traffic, experimental 2222 Victor, descending out of 3,000, 5 miles to the north. We'll be overflying the field. Bimini traffic. You ever see water that color?
No. Crazy.
Bimini traffic, experimental 2222 Victor, left base, runway 10, Bimini. Change 20 miles out, 14, trigger. Bimini traffic, experimental 2222 Victor, turning final 10, Bimini. Bimini traffic, experimental 2222 Victor, back taxiing 10, Bimini.
Engine speed.
Made it. I put gust locks on the plane and wished it luck sitting on the ramp.
Don't blow away.
Clearing customs was a piece of cake, and by 10 a.m. we were on our way to the beach. So here's a couple things to know about the Bahamas. Everything happens much slower, so don't expect anything or anyone to be on time. But for a vacation, I actually kind of like this because it really forces you to relax and enjoy yourself. The water is crystal clear and the sea life is abundant, and so are the mosquitoes. Cash makes everything easier and things are a bit more expensive, but not outrageously expensive. Bimini is a little more touristy because it's so close to Miami. However, things were much quieter where we stayed on South Bimini. We rented a golf cart, had delicious seafood and drinks, and the snorkeling was amazing right in front of our doorstep.
Just snorkeled back there and we saw a nurse shark, a bunch of beautiful fish. Bimini is an easy stop if you're worried about flying for a long time over water. So yeah, we're gonna go enjoy ourselves some more.
3 to 4 nights is perfect for Bimini, and I plan on going further south for our next adventure. Soon enough, our stay had come to an end, and it was time for the most challenging part of the trip, the journey home. It rained the entire night before our departure day. I woke up checking the weather and waiting for the last bit of rain to subside. And finally, the weather cleared up just in time for Bahamian Customs to open to clear us to leave. I called Customs at Fort Lauderdale and activated my flight plan. By the time I closed out all the paperwork, I started hearing thunder just north of Bimini. This was our first chance to leave, and we took it. The flight back to Fort Lauderdale was a short 30 minutes, and we were close enough to pick up the ADS-B radar, which helped ease my nerves. It was a smooth flight and flight following was with us within 5 minutes of departing Bimini. And just like that, the coast of Florida came into view. Fort Lauderdale executive was busy, like always, and we landed and cleared customs in 5 minutes. That was easier than I thought. Then the rain came. A lot of rain. So much rain that a droplet got into my airplane's radio, causing it to short out right in front of the customs office. I ended up using those tools I brought to get behind the panel to reconnect the radio. And unfortunately, I didn't film any of this, but I was sitting in front of customs for an hour trying to fix it. But luckily I did. By the time we departed Fort Lauderdale, it was the worst time to fly. It was midday in Florida in the summer. On the way back to Titusville, I planned to fly over numerous airports just in case the weather deteriorated even more. But honestly, after deviating around the major storms, it was overall smooth sailing back to Titusville. After about an hour and a half, we were on the ground back home, and I had completed my greatest aviation adventure yet. The little RV12 performed wonderfully, and in a future video, I'll talk about the performance of this little plane, especially now that I've seen it on a true cross-country adventure. But until then, thank you all for watching, blue skies, and I'll see you on the next flight.